Hello, gamers. This is Brain from GameBrain.media, and we are going to talk about LA Noire. I'm going to give you just the facts, ma'am. Okay, I lied. You're getting more than the facts, Jack. And if you don't pick up what I'm throwing down, just the facts came from the old TV series from the 1960s that was in black and white called Dragnet. And just the facts, Jack, I think that comes from Bill Murray. Um, whatever army movie he was in. I don't remember. But anyway, if you can't watch the video, then I will just tell you right up front, right now, yes, buy this game. Play it someday. I bought this game 13 years ago. 13 years ago, I've had this on my hard drive. Well, I've had this game in my Steam library. I've never installed it until recently, but I got the game in 2012 for $5 with all DLC. So anyway, we'll talk about that more going forward. So you might want to stick around if you just don't have time to watch this video now. Come back and watch it later because I'm going to tell you all about a lot of the really cool stuff in this incredibly weird, head-scratching, slow-paced, story-based game that sucks you out of the real world into and immerses you into the late 1940s in a very magical way. I have been enamored with this game for the last 7 days, I guess. Yeah, it took me about 7 days or longer, maybe 10 days. Well, I got 36 hours into the game totally. So anyway, I do have a record of that. I've kept track of each day. I keep a daily log. Anyway, I'm giving this game very high praise. Even though it is a very slow-paced and almost freaking boring game. But it fits my use case perfectly. My roommate goes to work he gets up to go to work at 5 a.m. He starts work at 6 a.m. I wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning and I can't sleep. And I need something to do, man. So I put on headphones and I sometimes just watch YouTube videos and, you know, kill time. But I decided I wasn't enjoying that very much. And I decided that I wanted to play games and get through my backlog. So expect a lot more of this kind of thing where I'm going to just play the game offline for a week and then I'm going to come in and give you this, something like this. A retrospective, not really a review. I don't want to give away spoilers. I'm really not doing a critical review. Dude, the game's freaking from 2012. It's an old game, dude. Or 2011. It was released in 2011, but that was on console. I think it came to PC in 2012. I bought it in 2012. Maybe it came out on PC in 2011, but I don't care. It came out on Steam. Steam had it on sale for in 2012 for $5 with the full DLC bundle. Yeah, it was great. The original price on console was $40, and then eventually it dropped to like $30. Then eventually that dropped to $29 or 30. That dropped to $20, and then I don't know how I got it on sale for $5 with all DLC. It was great. So usually when we start talking about when a game came out and we start talking about the game in general, start with the hours. How many hours can I expect to play this game? Well, this is your straight up LA Noire. And you can see 22 hours for the main story, 29 and 42 hours for a main story plus a few sides. And then a completionist is going to, drag his ass around for 42 hours. I can see that, especially if they're following a guide. And if you're just doing it as a self-discovery thing, well, I usually spend way more time in the completionist. But I also stop and smell the roses. I eat the bananas, dude. I kill the alligators just for fun. Doing something beyond what's prescribed or what alley or path the game is shoving me down relentlessly. Sometimes they will shove you down the path relentlessly in a main story, or sometimes you have to pursue that main story relentlessly because there are so many interruptions. It's like having children. There are people, or there are non-player characters, NPCs coming out of the woodwork asking you, please help me, sir. You have unique skills that I need. Oh, God. You have a Jeep. Help me. Okay. And, being that I'm a chivalrous human being, I go ahead and I help them. Anyway, y'all picking up what I'm throwing down? It's chaos out there in the gaming world. with open world games. And that's what this is. It's a weird time period to have an open world game, in my opinion, because there ain't been nothing like it that I've ever played. I'm totally enamored by this game. Like I said a few minutes ago, it's worth playing. 100% worth playing. Now, I got LA Noire, the complete edition, for $5 in 2012. Haven't played it in 13 years. Haven't installed it. Anyway, I'm falling down into the 36-hour category, somewhere between doing the main mission, some of the side missions, and collecting some of the things. I really wanted to collect all 95 custom cars, or all 95 cars models. And I picked up a ton of the custom cars in the game. But anyway, you'll notice that the main story is 25 hours, and here is in the vanilla version it's 22 hours. So they've added 3 hours of DLC. If you notice at the bottom of the screen, there's a list of all the DLC. A Slip of the Tongue, The Naked City, The Consul's Car, The Nicholson Electroplating, and Reefer Madness. They all add a little more than 3 hours, I would think. But, oh, yeah. No, 22 to 25. That's 3 hours. So anyway, you can see that the game is well worth it. Even if you pay $30, you're going to get $1 per hour entertainment, and that is my ruling. That is my measuring stick. All right. Whenever we talk about how long the game takes to play through and enjoy, if you stop and smell the roses, it'll take you longer. If you just plow through like a demon, well, it'll take you a lesser amount of time. But that leads to the price, and my valuation system is $1 an hour. Right? So if I go to the theater and they charge me I want a 10-hour long movie. They charge me $10 to go to the movie theater. I want a 10-hour movie, dude. So I don't go to the movie theaters ever, never again. So even renting a video off of YouTube streaming, or what is it called? Amazon Prime? Nah. I mean, not unless it's a 2-hour movie. It's on sale for $2, but no, they want $4 for an hour and a half movie. Nope, sorry, ain't doing it. I'm a cheap ass old man. So them's the rules, them's the breaks. So anyway, you can see that Steam has had this game on sale for as low as $4, $3.99. It's currently $10 at the time of this screenshot, which was actually taken a week or two ago. So things may have changed. But, you can look at the history. The game's been on sale for $2.33 at Nuvim, or Nuvum, whatever. But the full retail price there is listed as $29. Up above that, at Humble Store, full retail price is listed at $20. Steam lists their full retail price at $20. But honestly, I would wait for a sale. Put this on your wish list. It's a game that you will play when you have the specific use case like I have. I need to play a really chill, quiet game. I can put on headphones. I can play the game. I'm not banging hard on the keyboard. I'm not ripping the steering wheel and stomping on the gas pedals for my G27 race games. And I'm not, banging around on a gamepad, because I quite often put the tips of the gamepad on my desk. And I use the thumbsticks and the buttons and stuff. And sometimes I pick it up and slam it down. And yeah, I would wake up the guy next door. He's only 3 feet away through a wall, a paper-thin drywall wall. So I try to avoid that. Anyway, yeah, game's cheap, dude. Game's cheap. I'm trying to give you the whole picture. So let's look at this. You can get it, the full complete edition that I played, that has all the DLC included, for $7. You have to launch it through the Rockstar Game app, but guess what? You have to have the Rockstar Game app on your PC anyway. And I have the Steam version, and it launches the Rockstar Game app, or Rockstar Store app. Every time I launch the game from Steam, it fires up Rockstar. Just go buy the Rockstar version, dude. It'll make a shortcut on your desktop, and you can play the game, and you're going to enjoy that. Now, let's talk about the game itself. You can read this faster than I can read it out loud. right? Because I read way faster. Amid the post-war Hollywood golden age, LAPD Cole Phelps thrown headfirst into the drowning city of success. Corruption is rampant. The drug trade is exploding. The murder rates are in the all-time highs. In his fight to climb the ranks and do what's right, Phelps must unravel behind-the-scenes attacks, racketeering conspiracies, brutal murders, battling LA's underworld, and even members of his own department to uncover the secret that will shake the city to its rotten core. Solve brutal crimes, plots, conspiracies inspired by real crimes from the 1947 Los Angeles, one of the most corrupt and violent times in LA history, as you attempt to find the truth in a city where everyone has something to hide. Now, utilizing revolutionary facial animation, we're going to talk about this next. Utilizing revolutionary facial animation technology that captures every nuance of an actor's facial performance in astonishing detail, LA Noire blends breathtaking action with true detective work for an unprecedented interactive experience. All right, that last paragraph is critical to what we're going to talk about next. But in the meantime, I just want to direct your attention to the system requirements are rather meager. I don't know why it requires Windows 10, maybe because it wants you to be running Windows, DirectX 11. But, when did Windows 10 come out? It didn't come out in 2010. This game should have been running on much, much earlier. Oh, maybe they're giving you the median level system requirements, because this game should run on Windows 7, dude. Even with DirectX 10. Anyway, let's talk about that revolutionary facial animation technology.
Clutch Cargo and his pals Spinner and Paddlefoot.
Never thought anybody would read it, Spinner.
Gosh, everybody loves your book, Clutch. And Paddlefoot likes that part about dinosaur bones.
All right, so you can read, like I said, faster than I can speak. 14 years old in the year 2025. It's an old game, dude. But it did exactly what I said earlier. It sucked me out of real life, and every morning I live in the 1940s, 1947 specifically. I drive around in old cars. I talk old-fashioned, polite language with the dames at the speakeasies. I don't know. Anyway, the game is really a good time. So here again, Wikipedia's article is repeating the fact that Team Bondi's founding using proprietary motion capture technology called motion scan. Well, eventually I'm going to show you some video, maybe. I don't want to give any spoilers. That's a big thing. This game was worth playing, bro. So I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But I want you to recognize or realize or understand that it's slow as frickin' molasses. You may be interested in going to YouTube and looking up LA Noire full game, no commentary. Some people blow through this in 13 hours, but they cut out all the, the cinematics and the stuff in between. And I think you miss a lot by doing that. But if you played at double X speed, you could breeze through this whole story in 6 hours. And if you click through it, you can be done in 10 minutes. But really, is that what you want to do? It's not what I want to do. But that's how YouTube works. So anyway, yeah, the lip sync technology was revolutionary for this game at this time in 2011. Of course, that has progressed, and now we are all used to that. So when you go back in time 14 years and you look at a game like this, the lip sync is really, really solid. But the face, you can see the polygons being anti-aliased as you watch. They raise their eyebrows. You see crinkle, polygon, square, angle, triangle, rectangle, like polygons and trapezoids, and then suddenly it smooths out. And it's really bizarre. I will show some gameplay because now that I've said it, I have to show some of the guys talking. And, It's really funny when they get animated or pissed off or yeah, it's a thing, dude. Really cool game. I highly recommend it, but I'm also just warning you that it's not, a game from 2025 with that requires a 5090, which is good because we need games like that in life, right? This fits my exact use case. All right. So now let's talk about the genre that this game was set in, and it's called LA Noire because it's set in the 40s, and in the 40s there was a film style called film noir. Now, film noir is a style of film movies that were made in the 1940s and 50s, about a 10-year period of time there, where they were pretty, what's the word, budget oriented, right? They were hard boiled detective crime story stuff. So this game is really fitting, even though it's in full color. It's not as gritty or dark or anything, but just stay with me, man. I'm going somewhere. All right. So like I said, this is super slow. It's like an old TV show. Now, many of you may not be familiar with the TV show Twilight Zone, but you might be familiar with it. It started off in black and white. It ended in color. It ran for about 5 years, in 59 through 64. Another detective show came along, started out in 1967. It was also black and white on television. I did not see it. I was like 3 years old. So I saw reruns of The Twilight Zone and Dragnet and Columbo. And these were all like really slow period TV series. But that was a succession of episodes that led up to a greater crime. Well, at least for Dragnet and Columbo. Now, sometimes it was a one and done, and there's a lot of TV shows that followed that formula. And if you're a kid who grew up in the since 2000, you don't know what I'm talking about. You're completely, what? Yeah, you didn't have TV shows that you watched as a series. You had Netflix that you streamed and you binge. I get that. I love binging. But you can binge Dragnet. You can binge Columbo. You can binge Twilight Zone. You can also find it on late night TV, which is what I was doing. When I woke up at 2 or 3 in the morning, I would try to stay quiet, chill out, watch TV for 3 hours until my roommate got up and goes to work. And then I would start playing games. Well, fuck that. TV sucks. Even these old TV shows kind of suck. I went through every Clint Eastwood movie there is available. Between midnight and 5 a.m., when I would wake up at midnight, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and then my roommate wouldn't get up till 5, go to work at 6, and poof. Anyway, here we are. I had a use case. I needed to fill that gap. Here's some old TV shows that I would relate this game to. But this game is in color and has much more of a Hitchcock vibe to it for me than it has a film noir vibe. Now, what I mean by that is Hitchcock had a specific cinematography or a cinematic style where he would put a camera at the very top of the church tower and he would spray it down and look down upon the characters, and they would cast long shadows. He would set up lighting so that as they entered a scene of a courtyard at the church, you can see this menacing shadow entering before the human ever comes into camera view. Things like that. Very, very interesting stuff. Hitchcock is a genius. If you're ever wake up at midnight, 1, 2, 3 in the morning, try to find a Hitchcock show on Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever streaming service you use. We have DirecTV. We have a couple of old movie channels. But I also have, Roku built into my TV so I can watch some old crap. But, you really don't get exactly what you want. You might go searching for something like Citizen Kane or Casablanca. And these are regarded as two of the greatest movies in film history. And for the life of me, I cannot understand why I hate them both. I guess because it was in the early days of storytelling and there was a beginning, middle, end that kept you guessing or maybe left you a little bit uncertain until they got to the end. I really, really never liked Citizen Kane or Casablanca. but they were regarded as two of the greatest films of all time for some fucking reason I will never understand. Now, later in life, I came across a guy named Sid Field, S-Y-D, Sid Field. He wrote a book about screenwriting, and because I studied those books and I wanted to write screenplays and video game stories, I became familiar with the 3-act structure and the 5-act structure that followed that, and then Joseph Campbell and the hero's journey and the turning point and the point of no return and all these different storytelling elements and devices that exist. And but I'll tell you what, I'm here to tell you that this game utilizes many of those what are they called, mechanisms to tell the story. It gives you what's that called? Not preface. Well, I can't remember the exact term, but foreshadowing. It foreshadows an event. It gives you a hint. You begin to suspect what's coming next, and then sometimes they'll do a reversal, and sometimes, yep, I knew that was coming. So it's a really interesting blend of all these things that I've been talking about, and if you're not familiar with them, well, you probably don't even care. You're 20-something, and you've already checked out of the video. So anyway, actually, if you're 20-something, then you were probably only 5 years old when Sin City came out. You might have been 14 years old when Sin City 2 came out, but that was a copycat of film noir that Frank Miller utilized in graphic novels. And when they turned that graphic novel series of Sin City into a film, or 2 films, written by Frank Miller, they relabeled it neo-noir, the new film noir. And it was like over the top, ridiculous black and white with just a splash of red for blood. And yeah, Sin City is, a whole different thing. I'm surprised that hasn't been made into a video game. Anyway, let's carry on. Let's talk about the game itself and the core activities and the gameplay and the mechanics. You're going to drive here and you're going to drive there. You're going to touch things. You're going to search for clues and evidence, and you have to look at them and examine them, pick them up, put them down, pick them up, put them down, pick them up, turn them over, put them down, read them, and all kinds of stuff. It's kind of like the Easter egg hunt, treasure hunt of looter shooter stuff, but on a much lower level or more subdued level. And you're going to talk to a bunch of non-player characters. All right, then you're also going to find a phone. Yep, you are going to rely heavily on the telephone as one of your most critical crime-solving tools. You're going to call PD headquarters and report your events. You're going to get addresses and messages about your case. And that woman on the phone is very polite and robotic. I swear to God, she is a recording in the 1940s. But she is a recording in the 1940s. It's true. All right, so the core action in the game is that you will tail a suspect in an incognito fashion. That might be on foot or in a car. And if they discover you, well, then you're going to be actively chasing a suspect instead of chasing the suspect incognito. And if you catch them and they're belligerent, you will shoot them. And you may have a shootout with suspects, you may kill them all. Or you might have a shootout, injure somebody, or you chase them down, beat them up, have a fist fight, and then you do an interrogation. And you ask them a multitude of questions. Well, here we go. In the Wii version, I guess, that's the background picture. They give you choices of good cop, bad cop, and accuse the criminal or the suspect. So that makes a lot more sense to me than the PC version that I'm playing or the original PlayStation version that came out. And it was truth, doubt, or lie. Of course, if you choose truth, that means that you believe what the suspect is telling you. If you doubt them, then you doubt them. But you ask a follow-up question, and 9 times out of 10, they're going to lie about what they answer in the follow-up. So, well, okay, maybe 5 out of 10 times. That's a tough one. But half the time that you doubt the suspect and you challenge them, they will then break and tell you the truth, or they will break and lie to save their ass. When they lie, you can whip out evidence and either take them into custody and then go question them at headquarters. It's really a bizarre game, dude, I'm telling you. But it's one of the most unique varieties of games I've ever played. And that's why I like it. So, when you start the game, you're going to be in a patrol car. You're a patrol cop and you're doing patrol cop things. The detectives call you to a scene. Hey, go investigate this. Go find the murder weapon, and we already took away the dead body. Okay, you're the traffic, or you're a patrol car. Now, after patrol, you advance to becoming a traffic detective. So if there's a car accident and people die, or if there's a shooting where one guy in one car shoots another guy in another car, you go to the scene of the crime, you find the dead guy, you find the car, and then there's evidence on the dead guy's body. And don't read these things, because these are the question answer solutions to the investigation question and answers and evidence and stuff. You can find that stuff if you need it, but I'm trying to illustrate here that you go from patrol desk or patrol car to traffic cop or traffic detective. Then you advance to the homicide detective desk, the vice, which is drugs, desk, drugs, and prostitution. And then you go to arson. But that's not an advancement in your career. Coming up next is going to be a bunch of scenes from the game, trying to avoid spoilers, but giving you an idea how incredible this game looks and how much it should suck you in to the world that used to be. Alright, just a little warning that the audio is going to increase here because it's a different setup. But yeah, I took a bunch of screenshots in the game and they are phenomenal. Like, it really creates the 1940s. I wasn't there, but this reminds me of every TV show I have ever seen that features this kind of architecture and this kind of clothing and automobiles and streets and buildings and houses, and it's just a phenomenally immersive experience. I highly recommend it. And I don't want to give away any spoilers, so I've cut a lot of really good action stuff. Now, the action is far and few between in this game. As I said at the beginning, the primary action points are for you to follow a suspect incognito. 9 times out of 10. Oh, the bowling alley. Bro, I wish there was a mini game in there and we could play. We could go bowling in this game. I would have probably spent more hours bowling. Anyway, the architecture, look at it. It's beautiful. Look at the cars. They're beautiful. Look at this. More architecture. We're the art museum. I lived in Chicago for a period of time, and they had these grandiose old buildings that even came after the Chicago fire. And, out in California, this is Los Angeles, there's the La Brea tar pits, and then the story turns dark. Really, really fascinating, fantastic. Combine those two words and you have fascinating. Anyway, Reefer Madness. The game's awesome, dude. I really loved it, and I think you will love it. And I just want you to enjoy the rest of these screenshots until we hit the end, and then it's going to be goodbye for now. I'm going to go back in the game and collect a bunch of the cars, maybe do some of the street crimes, and maybe that I will turn into actual video, because then it really isn't giving away story elements. It will just be, car chases and shootouts. And here's Guido and his buddy, and then here's the mayor. Oh, we don't want to talk about him. He's not a good guy. Chief of Police, not a good guy. This guy, our leader, not a good guy. Being on the phone, not fun. But the whole thing combines to be something spectacular. And that's why I'm here, to tell you that, hey, This 14-year-old game is worth playing. That's it. Oh man, why did it take you 20 minutes or 30 minutes to tell us that? I told you in the first 2 minutes. Yes, the game's good. Buy it. If you want a slow-paced, boring game where you kind of have to connect the dots, and it really is fascinating cast of characters, environment, and it sucks you out of the real world. It immerses you into this 1940s speakeasy world. And there's that kind of Alfred Hitchcock top-down overview shot. You know, a lot of these stupid follow the car things, they're not that special. But overall, yeah, you got the train, the trolley car in the street. Got a lot of things going down. You got a lot of people. You got different weather. You got beautiful interiors. You got beautiful clothing from the period where the game was intended to be. Again, another incredible building. Dude, they just don't make them like they used to. Now everything is like wham bam, thank you ma'am, slap it up, get it done. I used to be a commercial carpenter, I know. I've done probably 10 different floor build outs in the Sears Tower. I think 5 in the John Hancock Center, 5 in the Aon Center, which used to be the Standard Oil building, blah blah blah. A police invitation. Well, here's where the story takes a turn, and you're no longer playing the detective. You're playing an insurance guy. Yeah, it's really bizarre, but look at the interiors. And that's Jack Kelso. It's fantastic. The buildings are period, and everything leads up to, not this particular moment, but it is a moment. And then the game just keeps going and going and going, and you go to the laundromat, and you're investigating clues. What? That was the Spruce Goose, dude. Yeah. Then you go back to PD, go back to HQ. You're doing stuff. You're investigating a crime. You're going back to this guy and back to this guy. And it's a really incredible game. I can't say enough about it. And I guess until the next time, oh no. Oh, okay. Oh, the game paused on me. Or the video editing software paused on me. Until the next time, GameBrain is gone. I've been gone a long time, dude. Catch you next one.